Okay, so I started the recording the meeting just to get it, make sure it's going,
Yeah, I'll wait till my
right?
clock hits
Which,
6.
which is
Uh,
fine.
I've got 5:58, so shouldn't be too long. While we're waiting, can we just test to see if Mr. Destry is able to share his screen?
Sure.
I'm assuming you wanted to share your screen.
Not
If you did,
particularly.
no.
I think
Can you guys see that?
yep.
Yep. Okay,
Okay.
great. All right,
Good.
thanks.
My natural inclination is to talk too much. So when I have these hearings, I try not to speak if I can avoid it. Because I just start going and going. And then an hour later, everyone's just kind of wondering why they're still listening.
Uh, I'm paid to be here, so if you're gonna talk, it's fine. All right, it is 6 o'clock. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's public hearing. My name is Linus Kafka. I'm a zoning examiner for the city of Tucson. We have one case on the agenda tonight. That case is case number TPENT-0526-00010, Pandora Wireless Communication Facility on South Harrison Road. To avoid unnecessary noise and interruptions, please mute your microphone except when you're speaking. As zoning examiner, I conduct rezoning hearings and special exception hearings on behalf of the mayor and council and make findings of fact, which I put into a written report along with my recommendation, which I send to mayor and council for their consideration for their final decision. However, tonight is a zoning examiner special exception, and so that will be a decision that I will issue. My reports will be based on the information submitted to me, which includes the rezoning application, or in the case of special exception, the special exception application, the staff report, written approvals and protests, any correspondence, any testimony given in tonight's public hearing. I'll also include in the record all documents submitted to me up to the close of the public hearing. All right, as mentioned, we have one hearing tonight. The process is this: after tonight, with the special exception zoning examiner hearing, I'll issue a final report to the mayor and council within 5 days, 5 business days after this hearing, so on August 20th. If you'd like to receive a copy of my report, you're not listed as a party, then you can send an email to the address at tucsonaz.gov or call the City of Tucson's Planning and Development Services Department. Copies will be available from the Planning and Development Services Department website. So here's how the order of tonight's public hearing will proceed. First, Mr. Slater will give a brief presentation of the case. I'll then ask the applicant, applicant's representative, Mr. Destry, if he wishes to make a statement or give a presentation or testimony, which I anticipate he will. After the applicant's presentation, I'll call on anyone who who wishes to speak on the matter, and then open up the other opportunities to be heard. After the public testimony, I'll offer the applicant's representative, the opportunity to address any points that might have been raised and whether he would like to give a closing statement. I'll then close the public hearing if I have sufficient evidence to make my decision. So we'll now start the public hearing on the first case that I called at the beginning. Once again, TPENT-0526-00010, the Pandora Wireless Communication Facility on South Harrison Road. Mr. Slater.
Thank you. So this is a request by Desk Redevelopment for a special exception approval of a 70-foot wireless communications facility at 4200 South Harrison Road within an existing landfill area. The entire landfill is zoned Pad 40, which was created to support landfill operations. The applicant has provided adequate information to demonstrate that there's an actual gap in wireless coverage in this area. The nearest wireless communication facility is over a mile away. The applicant prepared two sets of concept drawings, one with a sky blue and one with a rusticated finish. I tend to recommend a sky blue, but in this case, the applicant thought that the rusticated would get better suited to the location. It's in a low area next to the wash, so in most directions you look at it, it's got terrain as a backdrop, and the rusticated turned out to be the right call. It's meeting all the required setbacks and other use-specific standards for a zoning examiner special exception. It's got access through the existing landfill perimeter road to Harrison Road. It finds there won't be any traffic impacts. It's behind an existing berm on the west and the north side of the landfill, so there shouldn't be any land use compatibility or visibility issues, although the staff is still setting a condition to use a CME wall because in the future, the pad is designed to support redevelopment of the landfill site, and it's not a given that the berm is always going to stay there as it transitions to a more park industrial set of land uses. We didn't receive a single approval or protest. We received one letter of concern from the Center for Sonoran Desert Protection regarding the placement of the utility easement running in and out of the site of the tower. It appears the easement is under an existing roadway that skirts the perimeter, and it's separate from the Pantana Wash area by a large berm, although in the maps, the GIS layer for the special resource management area does overlap with the landfill a little bit, although physically it's not practically part of that area. The proposal is in compliance with the performance criteria for a wireless communications facility. It's consistent with policy direction and Plan Tucson. Staff acknowledges the communications facility will help improve telecom services in the area, and subject to compliance with preliminary conditions, approval of the requested special exception is appropriate.
All right, thank you. And I have received that letter, and it is part of the record. Mr. Destry, would you like to make your presentation?
Certainly. Thank you very much. I will pull that up right now and I will share it with everyone. I will keep this as short as I can. I'm just going to do a basic overview. Staff's already kind of addressed everything. I'm just going to provide a little more basic site information, some history, kind of explain why we picked this location, give a brief site description, discuss some of the benefits of the site, and then talk about outreach and feedback. In the outreach and feedback section, I'm going to get into a little bit of that question that came up regarding the access and utility route. And I've got a few pictures to kind of share. I believe that you probably have a copy of this deck already so that those can be incorporated into the record. But the nature of that legal access route is such that it is not going to impact any riparian area. So we'll just get right into it. Basic overview showing the site, generally where it's located east of Davis-Monthan and along the Pantana Wash. That's just south of the wash and kind of east of a residential area and south of a residential area in what is industrial, with some city property to the south and horse property directly north and a little bit to the east. Again, here's just something showing the roads. The parcel that we are on the north side of the property. And this map here, so it's Harrison on the east side over on the right there. This actually shows and starts to address that question that came up regarding access. What you are seeing here is the line in blue is the 20-foot wide access utility route that is shown on the drawings. So primarily that follows the existing roadway. What we needed to do was keep this to the edge of the property. As you would probably guess, this is a landfill. So over time, the ground will change and shift. Currently, what is shown in green is the main haul road. So there's heavy trucks and equipment that go across that all the time. And that's how we will drive to the site, I would guess, for at least several more years. But we do need to maintain a legal access route as this site redevelops. So that's where that blue comes in. North of that blue is a red line, which actually is overhead power, and that shows the base of that berm that staff mentioned. The white line that is there is basically the top of that berm. So water from the wash does not come into this area, and water or anything in this area does not go out to the wash. What we are proposing for this access is primarily existing access and materials piles. So this is not going to have a substantial impact on the area here where there's that slight overlap. Given some basic info, again, it's a 70-foot proposed as a rusticated monopole. We had originally proposed a 40 by 40 chain link compound. I know that staff has suggested we follow the standard of 6-foot CMU wall. I'm not sure if it is possible to get that to remain chain link just because it's not visible from offsite. If that is possible, we would request that. If it is not, we do not have a big issue and would accept that as a stipulation for approval. We're on APN 136-3002A. We're west of Harrison and just south of that wash. It's a 55-acre parcel. As staff said, it's PAD 40 with underlying industrial. It was a quarry and it's now being filled back in. The proposed site's meant to provide a new build coverage. Primarily Verizon was the carrier that actually originally reached out and asked DW to look for a location in this area, but it will be built and be able to handle at least 2 additional carriers. So back in 2025, Verizon came to DW. DW was looking. Verizon was originally looking for something about 1/3 of the mile to the northwest. There is a mobile home park that is to the northwest, and then there's also some residential to the west of the site. There's almost exclusively residential zoning in this area, except this 55-acre parcel, which has not only the PAD zone, but a very long history of the industrial use. So really, Mike Frazier, who's on this call, was involved in picking the actual location originally. And so we talked to Verizon and said, hey, could you move 1/3 of a mile, still get the coverage you need, but at least be
Oh,
Yep, I had Mr. Destry froze and then dropped. Everybody else?
yeah, no, we're all still here.
Oh, there we go. Mr. Destry, let's test again. How you?
He's muted.
Oh, you're. Oh, yeah, I see his microphone is off.
okay. So I dropped off there. Did you hear any of what I said?
Most of it, yeah.
Okay,
We got to Mike Frazier site selection.
Yeah, you were
Okay,
talking
excellent.
about the 1/3 of a mile that Verizon originally had
Yeah.
proposed and moving over to the site now proposed.
So yeah, we moved to this location, and Verizon was okay with coming over to this property, but wanted us to stay as far to the northwest as possible to provide coverage in their primary coverage goal was that area to the northwest. So that's why we've looked to go to the northwest corner of this property. Then once we started looking at what the setback requirements would be, we saw that we were looking at 2 to 1. So we proposed 70 feet and a minimum of 140-foot setback. We ended up shifting south because there is an overlay for the wash, and we couldn't have the pole within that or the ground equipment within that. So we shifted a bit south, and now we do meet all of the setback requirements as staff noted. Once we had a good design, I hosted a neighborhood meeting. We notified 19 neighbors and interested parties. There were no attendees at the meeting other than the owner who happened to be on site that day. And we had not received any follow-up until we did get the letter recently regarding the access and the question on that. So after we had the neighborhood meeting, we prepared our app, submitted the materials, requested a special exception. And obviously all of that information is now in the record. We are looking to get this approval, and like I said, the only feedback we've had is because of that access route. Again, the reason for the location was Verizon's need for coverage, and there was not existing verticality available for them to co-locate on. So they reached out to DW Tower, who's one of their partners in Arizona, to look for and locate and build multi-carrier sites. As I said, it was about a third of a mile to the northwest, and Verizon was willing to move down here. Just to give you some idea, the pin here is actually the original site location that Verizon wanted to be in so that they could cover those areas north and west. And we are actually outside of the area that they originally.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Mr. Destry, but if you could share your screen again. I had the slides I was looking at on my printout,
Okay.
but they're not on the recording. So if you could put them back up.
Oh, sorry. I don't know what happened to my screen. This is not going well today.
All right. You're fine.
All right.
You're fine.
Yeah, great. So what I'm showing here is in the middle, that yellow pin is the original location Verizon had been looking at. And then they've got a search area around that. This site is actually a little bit outside of that search area, but due to the circumstances of this site being on land which was more conducive to placing a new facility, they were willing to slide over to the southeast and locate on this facility. So that was the discussion I had referenced earlier. The site itself, again, is 55 acres. It's an inert materials yard. It used to be sand and gravel quarry. There's a residential zone to the west. It's currently being developed, and there's homes beyond that. To the north is the wash, where the horse property beyond. To the east is Harrison Road with horse property. And to the south, which is actually quite a long way south, is some property owned by the city of Tucson. And then there's a bit of Davis-Monthan is just south of that as well. So we located in this northwest corner to try and get as close to what the carrier needed as possible. And we've located it, again, back to the berm. The ground equipment will not be visible from offsite. So that was why we were hoping we might be able to avoid the CMU block wall requirement and go with the chain link fence. But again, if that is a stipulation that we have to have, we would accept that. So proposal was 40 by 40 with 70-foot monopole. The setbacks for the pole itself to the north is 378 feet. And that was to get it clear of the wash and the overlay that was there. To the east, it's 1,100 feet. To the south, it's 1,650, and to the west is 140. So that's the closest one. Again, we're trying to get as close to the north and west as possible. The nearest house is about 1,200 feet to the northeast across that wash right now. And then there are some undeveloped platted lots about 1,500 feet to the west, and then a future plat and development that's going to be west of this site. So that's the land directly to the west. Here are some photo simulations we have. It's kind of difficult to even show this, but we wanted to put this together. We provided this to staff so they could see kind of what the regular pole, rusticated pole, and blue would look like. The benefits the site would offer here are better signal for Verizon, and then a secondary benefit, it offers an opportunity for folks in areas surrounding this. The other sites in the area take less traffic, so they are able to handle more customers in those particular areas. It's also an option for co-location for T-Mobile and AT&T and Dish Network if they were to choose to go on it. So anytime anyone has a new cell site, there are some uses that are helpful for public safety, whether that's people making calls to 911 or a lot of the different fire districts, especially in the sheriff's office, use Verizon in a lot of their vehicles, so it helps their connectivity as well. Currently, there's about 95% of people that have a cellular phone, 55% have only a cellular phone, and this data is even a few years old, so it's become even more prevalent in that time. What we're offering will help with improved 911 services, some streaming options for the homes to the north and west, and improved reliability. Currently, they don't really have much, and as more homes and users come into that area, the quality of the signal will definitely degrade even further from what they have right now. So we're looking to improve devices, and Verizon's able to offer a service called fixed wireless. So it's basically home internet. You might see ads for that, but they can offer that once this site is built. And that's something that needs to be pretty near field to the actual site. So that's one of the big selling points of this site, is to allow folks in the area to have that as an option, whether they be existing customers for that carrier or new customers. As far as outreach went, we mailed the notice as required. I hosted the neighborhood meeting. As I mentioned, no one was there. We posted the sign per city standards, and we did just recently receive that feedback regarding the access. So that was from the Coalition for Sonoran Desert Protection, and staff kindly provided that to us. And as I said earlier, the legal route is entirely within the existing pit. The land is all disturbed or compacted. It's mainly materials pits or existing driveway. The physical access is more going to be that green route that I had showed earlier. That is the existing haul road right now, but we do need to maintain legal access as changes occur in the future. I do have an aerial. I'll refer to it again that I had shown earlier to kind of go over the legal route, physical route, power lines on top of berm, and to show that that route really is segregated from the wash by the berm. So again, we've looked at this before, but the route in green is the main haul road. That's the road, that's the access we would typically use. Our use is actually less intense even during construction than what currently goes through there, with haul trucks coming through to bring materials into the pit. The blue indicates what we show on the drawings as the legal access and utility route, and that we need to maintain. So as the pit road changes, we do have a legal right to be there. Here's a picture from the entrance gate to give you kind of an idea of what this area looks like and give some reference frame. So you see the green shows crossing the existing haul road, and that is the physical access that we will use. The blue shows that legal access, and as you can see, it kind of goes across along the road through a materials pit, and then it turns, and when it turns left, it again is several different piles of materials that it's going to be going through. But the berm is on the right here. So Pantano Wash is just to the right of that, north of it. And this kind of helps give an idea that this area is segregated from the wash and not exactly full of a lot of, I mean, there's not much in the way of vegetation here, and it's not like there's water that inundates this area. So I think that this is a reasonable route, and we were asked to do this by the owner just to stay out of the way as the pit redevelops. In conclusion, Verizon has a need to fill in a gap in coverage and improve the capacity in this area pursuant to its FCC licenses. We expect that within a year,
I think I don't know if
I
he
think
can
we
still
lost
hear
him
us.
again.
Yeah, I think we lost him again.
We need to get Reg a better internet connection in his office, it looks like.
Build him a Verizon tower.
Yeah,
Well,
something.
There he is. He's back.
did I lose you guys again?
Yeah.
You
Yes.
did, but you're doing pretty good. You're.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
oh goodness. Did you see the when I showed the picture here?
Yep.
Did you see
Yeah,
this?
no, we got
We
to
did.
FCC licenses.
Yeah, we're on the
Oh,
conclusion.
okay. And so we feel this is the least intrusive means of providing the needed coverage by using the rusticated pole on an industrial use property. We're requesting approval of a special exception for this multi-carrier facility. As I mentioned before, if it's possible to approve this with chain link rather than a 6-foot CMU block, that would be helpful for our development. If not, we would accept that as a stipulation. If there are any questions, I can certainly answer them. And if not, I think Mike should be able to answer them as well.
All right, thank you. And the other conditions are also agreeable to you.
Yes.
Okay. And the report or letter that I have from March 30th on the service need consideration of the tower proposal. Is that, can you amplify any about the current strain on the service area right now and how this would ameliorate that?
Yeah, the current issue is it's primarily for Verizon was a coverage issue. There is going to be some capacity as homes get built in the area, but when I showed before where this was targeted, the primary reason that Verizon needed a site here is to get coverage within that mobile home community. As a lot of folks, whether they are snowbirds or they live there year round, as they move back and forth and the population changes within those communities, it greatly increases the need for a site. I can tell you, actually, my parents, I live up in Phoenix. My parents live in a similar community to that. And when they come down from Wisconsin, they just use their Verizon phone and they have a Verizon at-home device. So when they come down, there's suddenly a lot more need for them. It's going to be similar for a lot of the folks that live in that community, whether they're year round or whether they're snowbirds coming down. And so Verizon's primary goal was actually to provide coverage within that community. They likely did not know it at the time, but as this area continues to develop to the west of where we're proposing, they will have additional customers in there as well from the single family homes as they get built.
All right, thank you. And I don't have any further questions. And I don't think there's anybody else on the call that I would call out to for asking any questions. So unless somebody wants to add any additional information, I'm prepared to close the public hearing. All right. With that, I'll close the public hearing in case number TP-ENT-0526-00010. And I will issue my report within 5 business days. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.